wanted to meet in October, so I said it.
In October. I don't know, school doesn't have anything new to talk about, do they?
Nothing.
I'll go to the township. Go ahead.
Yeah, as far as updates on projects, first of all, we had our opening of our Innovation Center in late July. I know some of you, I saw have that, and so that's been tremendous. I was actually just down there with some people from CentraCare today, and yeah, it's just amazing, some of the stuff that's going on and the number of kids that are getting involved in that. And so it's really nice. And a lot of that is the direct result of the Community Foundation and community partners is really how that really came to be. So it's up and running and exciting. Homecoming t-shirts were produced in-house at the Makerspace or the Innovation Center. So that's exciting and continues. The other one I just wanted to touch base on too is obviously the building project that was passed in August, and we are in the final design phase of that right now. So there's a design committee that's meeting. They've met 3 times, I think. Our CTE instructors are also doing kind of a parallel designing activity, and so those continue to be happening and ongoing. The timeline with those is, the goal is really to have final design finished and agreed upon with our architect by the end of December. And then that will give them a little bit in January to go and finalize the bid packages, with those to go out in middle of January, and hopefully then the board would be looking at approving bids by the middle of February. And with work starting as soon as we can in May or June.
Tell Matt I want a 3D modeling of it.
A 3D modeling of it. Well, we're getting closer,
We're
aren't we?
getting close.
Yeah.
It's getting pretty. We agreed on some big design elements, so.
Yeah, so we're getting closer. And as soon as we do have something like that, there will be stuff in the paper and stuff as well. That's the one question I keep getting from people. And yeah, as soon as we got something on paper and in concept, it'll get out there. So those are kind of the 2 biggies since the last time that we met. I don't know, Rick or Maggie, if you have anything else to add.
Did you want to mention what they end, the dates we hope to open up the new building?
Oh, yeah, well, so that timeline, if we will hit the May-June construction timeline. So the first order of business would be, they have essentially 90 days to complete the remodel for the Career Tech Center. Because the goal is to not lose a single day of instruction. So by September 1 of 2020, we need to have occupancy for that space. So that'll be priority 1. And then from there, really will be the addition, the increase in footprint. And the goal would be to have that completed by September of 21. And hopefully it's closer to July or August. But if we have weather like this last summer, that will definitely impact some things. But yeah, so that's kind of the timeline that we're open for.
Do you guys get to close for early this year, like earlier in May, so that you can start construction early?
We are not closing earlier. So right now the plan is not to modify a calendar or anything. We're going to continue as is. I think the student's last day is May 31 on the calendar right now. So
Some schools have started earlier so they could get done earlier, but then you have to have special permission, you have to have that well in advance, and since we hadn't had our vote, it didn't make any sense to do that until.
Well, your civil engineers have reached out to the city. I got that call yesterday late. So I'll be working with Renee and our building official on that, on the questions that they had. But I actually had more questions for them than they did for me. So I'm kind of waiting for their grocery list before we can respond. So mostly parking.
We have questions about that too. That will come after, you mean part of it is the design space and site space. Parking comes after that's all figured.
With the Innovation Center, there's, the area, I forget what you call it now, where they've been doing, the T-shirts and that type of, what other types of products are the kids, young adults able to make that, I'm looking, thinking about, city does plaques occasionally and stuff like that, and those types of things, is
We
that?
would love to have a conversation about something like that. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's a laser engraver down there. There's several CNC mills, vinyl press, vinyl cutter, a host of sewing machines, embroidery machine. Really, if you can create a CAD image of a logo or a design,
Mhm.
we can put it onto acrylic, wood, leather, fabric. There really isn't a whole lot that we can't get it to go onto with the equipment that's in there.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, if there are things like that, absolutely. We did learn some lessons that the first run of the screen printing equipment should not be with an order of 400 plus t-shirts. And as I think about that, it kind of, the light bulb goes on now and says, well, Matt, isn't that kind of common sense? I didn't think about that originally, and so we did learn through the homecoming t-shirts kind of the hard way, but we got through it and stuff, so. Yeah, we've got an assortment of classes that would be more than willing to
Yeah,
talk.
because the chamber does too for their annual.
Yep.
And I think we can make banners too, can't we, large?
Here's something they built.
Don't we have a shoot banner?
I think it's only so big though. that we-
Scroll one to the
Yeah,
left.
I can't remember if it's 30 inches wide or
They
whatever.
built that box. Scroll one to the left, and you can see the engraving on it. That was at the gala, that box.
Mhm.
Are they working on was the park tree gonna help them work on the memorial bench?
Yeah. Oh, that's gorgeous.
And if you look over on this one, this is all engraving in it.
Wow.
Gives you kind of a concept.
Yeah, that's really nice.
The other thing that is going on too is, Greg Kapsner was down at St. Cloud State this summer and was taking a couple classes down there, and so one of the things that we had, I think it was a church group who came out to help clean up one of our courtyards and do a little beautification. And so now he's putting some cement and wood benches
Mhm.
out there and stuff. So yeah, I mean, there's other possibilities too as far as some outdoor furniture and things like that.
Working with Avon Plastics, some of their material.
I'm not sure if he's working with them or not. When I was down in the shop the one day, they were making the wood casts that they were then going to pour the concrete in for the basically the frames for these chairs and benches. So those will eventually get out into our courtyard. I think he's waiting to put them out there until after winter. And
It's kind of neat to keep some of that stuff local.
yeah.
Matt, we just contact you if we come up with something that?
Yeah, what I'll do is I'll just probably get it to Mr. Orline or Anita Flanders is the one who's in the Innovation Center. I'll get it routed to the right person, someone will get back in touch with you
Okay.
and stuff. But they're always looking for things, and as much as it can be real world application, that's really what they're looking for. So.
Cool.
I'll also add, in the midst of all this, like kudos to the administration team, they changed over a software program. So every single student data point had to be moved over, schedules it, and this all happened within the summer and moving to a block schedule. And so there was a lot of really big changes that happened and have gone fairly, I mean, there's issues, obviously every transition there's issues, but I think it just is a testament to the leadership that we have and the community partnering, because just to change over a software system can be a huge deal, but that was just one of the many changes that took place to just keep things moving forward. So if you like change, it's been a fun time. I like change, so it's been it's always fun and interesting to see what we can discover, but it hasn't been, we're going to wait off on this, we're just going to wait. It's been, we need to move forward, and so that's been fun. It's been fun to be part of.
The enrollment numbers looking a little up.
Yeah. we're very positive. We're right around 950 for K-12. We put in our early learning kids into that, and we're over 1,025 that we're serving on a daily basis. So it's, yeah, it's always better to be up versus down. So it was a good summer.
Well, and you got a lot of innovative classes and things going on that kids are interested in.
I think too, if you want to mention, but the preschool has grown phenomenally to the point where I wouldn't say it's a problem, it's a challenge. And we can't offer everything we'd like to, I don't think we're able to, but.
It's a little bit of a space crunch,
Yeah.
but the new facility is going to actually give us a solution to that too, and so.
So is that looking at 2021?
That, yes, would be 2021, yeah.
So
Yep.
one more year of.
So realistically, what's going to happen once the new facility is open, the district office will be evicted from the elementary school, and we'll go over to where the current community ed office is. Community ed is actually going to be housed in the new community center, and then the current space that is the district office is going to be dedicated for early learning, 3 and 4 year olds is the game plan with it. So.
It'll help our pause program too, because right now they're kind of kicked out of the cafeteria or gym. I mean, there's just not space needs for that, so it'll really help with that program, because there's how many students in, there's a lot of students in
It's
pause.
up, yeah, we're over 100
Yeah.
enrollees. I think Matt was saying that for the before after school program, in the past, they had like 80 enrollees, and the average daily attendance was around that 50 to 55. We're over 100 enrollees now, and I think they're pushing almost 70 daily, on average daily attendees. And so
It's a big crowd.
it is a big group. It is a big group. But
I think
again,
his numbers on the form he brought us last night over the summer was 90, which seemed like a really large group of kids.
Once construction starts and you've got a large number of larger vehicles and things like that going in and out, are you going to be doing anything temporarily with opening up like the north access, or?
we're gonna have to talk about that very
Yeah,
thing.
just keep us in the loop on that,
Yeah.
because that,
And I think another piece is just having to maybe retrain and move student parking to the south of the building rather than on the north side of the building and stuff. And so there's going to be some contingency plans that need to come up with, yeah.
we'll have a little bit of a safety concern with both the county road on the west side and then Highway 55. That'd be interesting.
Can we talk about the school resource officer stuff too?
Sure.
So I just want to say, we are absolutely thrilled with the arrangement that we have. I actually ran into Chief Wagner at the football game on Saturday, and I was telling him the same thing, but to have Tony and Jerome dedicated to the school and have them there on scheduled days. We know when they're going to be there. They are there when they say they're going to be there. It's far exceeded anyone's expectation on the school side. So I hope the city's happy with it too, but don't let Tony or Jerome go anywhere, please. And I've just been really, really pleased with it. And I've heard just a lot of positive comments, not only obviously from Mr. Orline, but from parents and from staff as well. The school couldn't be happier with that arrangement. So, thank you.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I think the kids are his treasure, and even one incident is, and you have to try and avoid it. And it can happen, it's so brutal, it happens all over. So, I mean, that's a real positive thing.
You're glowing, Butch.
Huh?
You're glowing.
Glowing.
Yeah.
I know, the sun. Thinking about moving.
What's going on out in the township?
Well, we finally got the roof on the arena down. Oh, we waited and waited and waited. Last year, all year, well, 2 years ago already, in the fall, when we signed the contract and stuff, they said, you know, they couldn't do it if it was under 70 degrees. It had to be 70 degrees, you know, and stuff. So they couldn't do it all last fall. And then this summer, then they couldn't do it because it was too hot. Or you can't have rain within a day of it. Well, it rained every day, almost every other day, so you couldn't do anything. And then finally at the end, you know, the wind didn't bother them and the cool weather didn't bother them and they could do it, you know. And they got it done. I mean, and there's a full 3 inches on the top of the arena and we got an inch on top of the other one. But it stopped all the moisture and stuff that was in there. The Hockey Association, they went in and they painted the ceiling after Jerry and Mike tore out all the old insulation. It was just water, you know. So they got that all done and everything, and everything's working fine. I mean, it's been going now since end of August. Yeah. Before they got it done though, there was dripping, you know, and stuff that had leaked where the screw holes had been before and stuff, you know, and hadn't been repaired and stuff. And anyway, we had, what did they call them? The opposite of icicles, stalactites, about this high and 4 inches in diameter at the base on the ice. Can't skate around that. That would be a real chore. But anyway, it's all it's just great. And the cost compared to putting new steel on that roof is just way less. You know, I mean, it's thousands and thousands of dollars less. You know, it's guaranteed 15 years. You know, so no, we're very, very happy with it. And then we're also in the process of working with the chamber that they are going to, every year in Town Country Days, the dance is going to be there. I mean, this is for all of us. The arena is a great place, and then they never have to say, oh, at the last minute, we got to move it, you know, and stuff, and then they don't get a crowd or anything, you know. They'll probably be able to have a liquor license up there and stuff. They've, you know, and the chamber always runs a good show and stuff, so we aren't afraid of that, and they'll have the proper insurance and proper everything. So it's kind of working with the city and stuff to make that happen too, because it helps the chamber, it helps everything, it helps businesses, very positive.
You don't have room for the carnival up there, do you?
Hey, we could if they get rid of all those fish houses. I think there'd be enough room up there, you know, by the old restaurant and stuff, you know. But it's just solid fish houses. I don't know, they're getting about as many fish as I do when I go out on the ice. So I hope we can do it.
The chamber's looking for a spot for that too, since they got kicked off the.
Oh, the
They haven't been kicked off just yet. We're anticipating a problem, but we need to hold tight just a little bit to have a little more clarity on it, so.
We don't have any area at all.
It's nice
The
they're having all the
township
grass.
or the city.
As far as the noise and.
Yeah.
There are some spots, they're not real convenient.
Because, yeah, you want to have the hamburger stands and everything close proximity to it, because that's where people are. You know, and having it downtown, it kind of congests everything. If you want to go to the bank or anything, you can't. We could close the airport for a while.
Not much out there for electricity, right?
No, not at the airport.
They have generators.
Oh, yeah, generators.
Well, it'd be really nice if you ran into somebody who could donate a whole bunch of money for it, and you could buy a big lot out there. You know, land where it's cornfield or something, and set it all up there. That'd be really nice.
But you can only go so high by the airport. So, yeah,
Ferris wheel,
that never, no. So even the land,
and the lights.
no, wouldn't work. Butch, your solar garden,
They lost one of the investors, and I found another one for them. But they'd like to have 3 to bring the total cost for each one. So it'd be around $250,000 for each investor instead of throwing that much. The thing is, you know, and I said that all along, and this guy was saying, well, this is where the solar garden would be, and it's in the garden, you know, and stuff. And I said, well, what about the trees in the west? No, they shouldn't be a problem. They shouldn't be a problem. None of his lines were ever right on the thing that showed where it was. I mean, he went beyond the garden into Jerry Humbert's. You know, always the lines were there. And I said, well, you just can't have that. Well, then finally he said, well, we'll have an engineer come out and they will tell us exactly how far we got to stay away from those trees. Well, it turns out he just comes out with this machine and stuff. He puts up these stakes and it's more than halfway over the garden, away from the trees from the west. So now in order to get enough, you gotta either lease, rent, or buy land from Jerry Humbert. Well, Jerry Humbert wants to work with us because his kids were in hockey and stuff, and he helped a lot with the hockey arena in the first place building. And so we've talked to him, and he wants to sell it to us all the way up to the highway, but cutting it across about where the garden started. On the other side of that, the outdoor hockey arena. And then that would leave him all those trees and stuff, would kind of cut at an angle and stuff, because someday he'd like to put up a shop. But then we would have it all the way to the highway. And it cost us about $95,000. At first, he had told us, well, that's not a problem, because he said there's money in it with the investors to buy this. And then the next time I talked to him, he said, well, I may have misspoken. And now there isn't the money, so the township would have to buy it. But if we actually get $42,000 a year, trusting them on at least that part, you know, then you know, $95,000, in 3 years he got that taken care of. You know, so instead of 6 years, he got 9 years into it, but then after that, you're gonna get at least $42,000 a year for as long as the things produce. And they should produce for 100 years. They'll produce at 100% for 25. You know, and then it just shrinks down to 0.5% per year. You know, I've had 30, 40 years of my hunting cabin, you know, and they work just perfect. Yet they're still putting out the same amount when the sun is on as they did when they were, you know, so it's still a good deal, you know, even if we have to do it, but it's always at the township's budget. It's commercial property, you know, I mean, it would really be worth even more than that because it's about 2 acres. But it's willing to do that, I guess. We'll see. we're waiting for, we're waiting for the other investor to come in. Once it's a go and stuff, but we're going to start in probably purchasing the land from him, you know, but it's not gonna be final till we know it's final for the solar system.
Well, you and Neil can talk offline about where you want to invest your money.
I don't know if I can spend the interest.
But anyway,
Change my lifestyle.
you know, if hockey would ever fold, you know, I don't see well, I mean, it's like everything. You get ups and you get downs and stuff, but right now, I mean, they're turning away kids that want to play hockey. It used to be they'd ask you, when my son was in it, they'd ask you, can you skate? And if you'd say no, well, you can learn, you know, I mean, it just, they wanted everybody that they possibly could get, you know? Well, you were here and you knew that and stuff. I mean, and now they've actually got to try out and some of them get turned down. You know? It's just kind of like with your pre-kindergarten and stuff, you know? You get so many kids and finally you got to cut something, you know, and you hate to do it, you know, and if there's a way around it, you're going to do it. But, I mean, they're out there 7 days a week now. I mean, and sometimes the parking lot's full, they're parked down the road, you know, towards the restaurant, they're parked the other direction, and they got the other parking lot full. I mean, and the money it brings into this community, remember when we talked about it with what we can do in this community, and it's not to get the people here to spend more money, it's to bring money in. Well, those tournaments bring in a ton of money. I mean, they pay this electric bill every year. They pay the rent to the township and stuff, you know. They raise way over $100,000, you know, just there. But the restaurants get business, the gas stations get business. You can't, when there's a tournament on a weekend, you can't find a hotel room from St. Cloud to Wilmer. You know, that's good news. It's like when you're too busy, that's good news. Then you can stay in business.
Need more soccer players.
You know, when you got too many kids that they don't fit in the school, that's good news.
Good problem to have.
Yeah, you know, so, no, I'm very happy where it's going and stuff, and we'll get it done, and that will save them a ton of money, and hopefully then we'll have hockey for a lot longer time. And the arenas we'll set up now with a decent roof and insulation, makes a huge difference. So, thank you.
Thank you. Got a list there, Renee?
Me?
Yeah?
No.
Okay.
What we're up to?
Yeah.
We have the AMPI project that we're working on right now with them extending their water, wastewater, out to the pond so that they can expand they've got taken on some new farms so they can bring in more milk. Our street project, council last night just approved an extension to Boss because of all the water. So they're behind, so we extended the contract into next year. They should have to this week done the piping from over by the farmer's co-op underneath the railroad tracks, and then we have a new pond that we bought some houses and we'll go into that pond and then it'll drain under Mini Street and go out to the bigger pond and then into the creek. That should be done this week. And then they're gonna put the final wear course on. So that will be about and not done for this year. The plants are starting to shut down. The airport, we're putting up a new T-hangar out at the airport. That was gonna start this fall. I don't know, they were gonna try to get the concrete done so that they could work on the rest over the winter. And let's see, what else do we have? We're doing a downtown, we're working with the consultant Janet King on the downtown redevelopment. She did phase 1 where she interviewed people, and I know that quite a few people were involved in that. And she's presented that report, and then I possibly, at the meeting that follows this, Chuck DeWolf will be presenting the cost for phase 2 for that. So that's a wonderful thing to keep going. Very positive about downtown is the amount of people that we bring in each day is huge. And so, and we have activity downtown, so we just need to capitalize on that. What else do we got? Playground equipment is in.
Yep.
The new playground equipment at Veterans Park and at Gazebo Park. That is all in. Trying to think of what other projects we're doing. We're still selling lots out at Heatherwood. I think we've sold 8 lots, and we should have 1 more coming in with a building permit. So the housing incentive has been really, really good. That has brought in a lot of people.
How much do we have left in that, roughly?
How many lots are left on there?
Dollar-wise.
It's
We
in
put
this.
a cap on the dollar, did we, that we're spending? Or is it number of lots?
Oh, we have 10 left for the homeowners, and then we have 10 if somebody were to build rentals. Like, we had some people interested in building twin homes and renting them out. So instead of the $2,500 going to the property owner, that wouldn't be involved, but the water and sewer hookups would still be free. So we got 10 of those left. Trying to think.
One thing we're looking at is our library is outgrown its space there, so we're kind of looking at a new resource center, library type thing. I hope to tie that in somewhat with the downtown, project, looking like that's going to be a $1 billion project.
Close to it.
That might not be in the cards for a few years.
We'll be having a lot of steak fries.
But yeah.
Public Works is on the table for a new facility.
Yep.
When, but it's.
Two new facilities, Public Works and Emergency Services. Our fire building is outgrown with the equipment that's getting bigger and needing more. That's outgrown that. Plus, it's in a not very safe location, being so close to the school playground and gazebo park there. So that's both the Public Works building, which is scattered amongst several buildings in town, and then combining the fire department and the police department and emergency services possibly into one consolidated building.
Does the city own the property over where the ambulances are now? That's all city property?
Mhm.
Yep.
And that's possible?
Yep.
Future
All but the
development.
one front lot in front of the pond there, that belongs to, does Grayling still own that?
That whole area, could you use that for the carnival?
The problem with that is getting, a bunch of people in there and then hoping that the ambulance crews can come and go as they need to with people and parking and that's.
And then in electrical.
And needing someplace that's got proper services.
Where were they doing well?
Wild card pulling, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, they have that up at Robin Judy's. And everything that was on my list, other than the industrial park, we're still looking, what we have is pretty much full, so we need some space for that. Then we have a property owner that's non-existent, out of communication, not willing to do anything until the hospital decides to do something, which I think they've already decided.
Yeah.
And the new housing project.
Oh, yes.
Senior living. Approved the TIF district last night for Tom Pause for the 47-unit senior living.
When would that get started?
They're gonna start construction next spring. They were hoping to start this fall, but things just didn't work that way, so next spring, and
What's
that'd be
this?
really nice. Senior living, 47 apartments for senior living. You can move in at any older age, and then as you start needing services, they can start helping you, and you can stay there for forever. It's just transitional. So they'll have 10 units that are for low income. So, and he's built, well, they ran the Watkins one, they bought the Watkins Hilltop one.
Oh.
From Centricare.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
And
they're
then-
good operators.
Yep, and then they've added on 3 times, and there's still out of space. And then they built one in Sandstone in St. Joseph.
And this is gonna be over in the Heatherwood up there.
No, it will be right behind the flagpole place.
Yeah.
Yep,
but
yep, they were able to negotiate some land from Aaron Krantz to have another entrance there. So that will be good. So that will be a big project.
But I don't think they'll have too many kids coming into for that one.
Well, it's
If the grandparents come in, maybe they.
Yeah.
You never know nowadays.
Increased jobs.
Yeah.
Never say never.
Jobs, bringing
Miracles
families.
do happen.
And the hope is that it's going to free up some single-family homes that
Right.
are currently being occupied.
That's
So,
gonna be huge.
because you can't build new single-family homes for what they can
Right.
sell for.
That's huge. I have some question, the resource center, just curious to hear a little bit more about what that looks like in a community our size as libraries have changed rapidly, right, over the past 10 years. What does that space look like with community partners and how that would?
We've been trying to arrange some tours of some newer ones that have been built. Kimball is in the process of planning one.
Yeah.
There's a couple other places that have, communities that have built the newer resource centers. So rather than reinvent the wheel, we'd like to go and take a look at some of those and see, much like what's been done with the innovative center there. It's not,
It's not the same.
not the same
Okay.
as going in and.
So this is more futuristic
Yep.
thinking.
Mhm.
We met with Great River, the director and Gretchen, and asked them for a wish list. If you could have anything, money, not an object or a building or any, what would you like? And so they gave us a nice wish list of what they would do. And right now they're moving towards automated checkout. So they rarely have people there. One of the libraries we were gonna go visit has that in place now. The other thing that they wanted were some meeting rooms and some sound rooms so people could go there to practice their instruments or have lessons, piano lessons or whatever. Gretchen has a lot of musicians that said they would donate instruments and teach, so that was something that they were really interested in that
Sure.
area.
Now they come with that after we had to listen to a tuba for all.
So I know Kimball, I mean, they have a really good fundraising component to it. One of my colleagues is on that committee and they've been successful
Yeah,
in getting
And
private
Gretchen's got a
support.
lot of activities going on there too.
Yeah.
she does.
Yeah.
And even the coffee shop does.
And I was gonna say, it's kind of almost like a Barnes and Noble with a coffee shop where you can, sit and have a cup of coffee and, catch up on the latest news and wait for your kids to finish their piano lessons or whatever, and make it more, almost like a community center, and going away from the library term, to a resource center type.
So I've got a question for the city.
Mhm.
With the hospital now, looking more and more like they're not thinking of relocating, but expanding where they're at.
Mhm.
I assume that you've been in contact, they're talking to you. I look at the future and I wonder how much more room they can expand to there and still have parking? Or are they gonna, is the nursing home gonna go by the wayside? What's gonna happen there? What are you hearing about the hospital?
Well, one of the things that I'm hearing is that CentraCare is not necessarily you want to be in the business of senior care. So, and I can't speak for them, for the organization, but potentially the nursing home, Carlos Manor, being relocated or sold in a new facility, I'm just kind of thinking out loud here based on some of the comments that I've been hearing. Even Washburn Court or something is, probably the first thing that they would divest themselves of. They won't own hardly any other nursing or senior care facilities, do they?
700.
I mean, anywhere in their system, they don't own.
No, they've pretty much gotten out of as much as they could.
Yeah.
But we were very involved in their first phase when they were redoing the nursing home section and the hospital. Now that they've started all over, we haven't had any contact with them. So,
It's my understanding the manor is getting retrofitted to be more single rooms though. So that they're at least putting an investment into that. I think it was the manor. So that they're going to be doing away with the double rooms and going to singles. So,
I remember years ago Willie saying, by the time I'm ready to retire, they better have single rooms and they better have a computer hookup in every one of them. And that was 30 years, or 25 years ago, and he said that.
yeah.
A whole new generation coming up that isn't going to be happy with what my parents put up with.
We're all gonna have to move back in with our kids.
Yeah.
Jokes on them.
Yeah.
But if they're thinking of growing, if they're thinking of growing the clinic and everything, I mean, that's also good news for the communities.
Well, I know their one design was to move the helipad out to the airport,
Oh, okay.
because they have more that fly out than fly in. So, so they were looking at doing that so they would get more parking and be able to use the parking area for more building. So, but it's supposed to be the second busiest in St. Cloud Hospital in their arena of clinics, so.
Well, those are two strong areas in our community. One thing that keeps us here is a strong school system and a strong healthcare system. And as the older I get, I'm very concerned about the healthcare system, that remains strong in our community. A lot of communities have lost that.
Yeah, and I think Brandon, that's one of the things I think Brandon's working really hard on. When they were looking at buying land and rebuilding a structure, they were looking at hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars. Where now if they can utilize their land they already own and some of the building that they already have, it cuts that down. So the last number I heard at that EDAP meeting was, I think, down to 16 million for renovations. So that's a big difference in where they were at. Because it was, before was 46 million they were looking at, so it significantly dropped. They're very important to the community.
Well, they've got about 500 paychecks. And they're pretty good paychecks.
Yeah.
That all makes a difference. And it's people that, they draw people in and stuff that benefit our schools and everything, because they're with higher paying jobs and, they're educated jobs. It's just a
Chocolate
good
benefits.
sign. We are so lucky, I've always said that, to have the hospital. It's just amazing.
They're one of the main reasons why we have more people coming into town each day than going out to work in, St. Cloud or otherwise.
Well, there's good working places around here. I mean, we've got a lot of businesses and they pay well and stuff, they're good to their employees and stuff. But the two major things is the hospital and the school. People look at that when they're younger people. The older people, they might shy away if there's no nursing.
And the parks and the trails and the bikes.
Exactly.
The golf course and.
I remember when we, fought to get the trail. I remember when we fought to have the airport, And now, how busy is that airport? I mean, jeepers, I'm out in my garden, there's planes flying over all the time. I think they're spying on me.
Hence the need for our next T-hanger that we're building, because we have pilots on the waiting list for space for to house their planes.
Really?
Mhm.
Amazing. It's just amazing.
There was quite an article today in the Trib about Duluth, and property close to the trails is of higher value.
Yeah, I mean, even the trail that's back here, if that could get completed too, that railroad trail.
That's.
I mean, and then the other thing is the trail that goes around the lake. That increased property values $20,000 in every house right there. Because people come, they're walking on it all the time, and it comes into the city, I don't know. We've just got a lot of good things going for us.
One thing on our radar schedule is connecting or coming through downtown.
Yeah.
Tying with our next downtown project, the
Right.
street project, which we keep kicking that can down the road because we're not sure about what we're doing downtown. But running it out over, under, or through the bypassing connect, so we can connect to the trail up there. None of us are sitting still the way it sounds, and that's good.
And just one other thing, and one thing, and I'm sure if you can't hardly pick up a newspaper or watch the news, able to hear about vaping and the epidemic that we are experiencing, and I can tell you that Painesville's not immune to it. It is going on here too. Mr. Orline is in the process right now of setting up with Stearns County Public Health and some other professionals an educational and informational session. We originally were going to hold off and do something when we're doing some free basketball games this winter, but both of us are of the opinion it needs to be sooner than later. So when that is developed, if I could get that over to, say, if you guys could get it on your website
bet.
or whatever.
Anything you guys have that you need, we can.
So
Get it
we're
to
gonna,
Kristen.
we'll be targeting parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, anybody who has influence over a young person to come and learn about what this is all about. They're very common teenage supplies that are the telltale signs if your son or daughter or niece, nephew is vaping. And I think most adults would be floored when they find out what it is they have to look for in backpacks. It's scary, is what it is. So that information will be coming
Yeah.
and we'll.
Just get it over to me. Anytime you guys have something that you need out to the public, just beam it over and Kristen will
Sounds
get it
good.
everywhere we got it.
Sounds good.
And this is a community-wide problem.
Oh,
So it needs to be the churches, the
It's
youth
national.
organizations, you folks. It can't just be the school telling the kids. It's got to somehow be a message that's coming from every possible avenue that these kids are getting hit with. Because I've been concerned about it because it is, we don't what it's happening up at the school. It's happening all the time.
Yeah.
Another thing we discussed last night at our meeting was that right now for the last how many years, we've had the county basically patrols our township because it's just a heck of a lot cheaper. It's like $35,000 how many years ago already, and stuff. We get a lot of objections from people in the township spending too much money on it, but, we felt that now, you know, if it can provide a full-time officer for the school and stuff, so it's protecting our kids and stuff, plus have somebody patrolling our township, and at that time it wasn't 24 hours a day, now it's 24 hours. So if we can contribute to that, and they can hire that extra person and stuff, I think it will fly.
I can just speak only to the consistency of service, but when we have law enforcement that's in the schools, that knows our kids, knows our students, and those students are residing out in townships or their leisure time is spent on township roads, there is some value in having that relationship already established. So, you know, obviously, I'm not a resident of the township, but I can tell you from somebody looking at it from the outside, I could absolutely see value in more than just what the dollars and cents on a contract might be.
Definitely have to look at it, because otherwise, dollar value would scare you away.
All right, great. Anything else? Yep.
We're working with the Sobriety houses. I guess that's noteworthy.
Or what?
Working with the Sobriety houses and organizations.
Trying to get all those questions answered about
Well,
operating.
they need to go someplace, and I think it's of more value than not. Some of these clients have gone through the program and located here, and they're working, cured, you might say, and they have families. And so I don't think we're against it, but we're trying to, you know, regulate and make it go, correct?
Since I work outside town, I've lost track of a lot of things, but do we still have, we had a woman's house over here, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
That's still that, and that's still going. We got the one right on Main Road here.
Mhm.
That's up and operating. Okay, so we do have two.
They're different entities.
More than.
Serenity Path runs 2 of them, and the Resource Center runs 1.
Okay, there's 3?
There's 2 recovery centers here in town now.
Okay.
They're treatment centers.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so they each have multiple houses.
Oh, okay.
And I don't think Serenity does housing, do they?
Yeah, they,
Yeah, they have to
Do
go.
they?
they have the.
They started the one over
The
here.
first one by my house over here, then they got the one over there.
On Business 23. Those are the first two. Those are the ones we know of.
A lot of sobriety.
You have a point.
Yep.
Can we set an April date?
Absolutely.
Did the township approve the TIF, or is that not gone to that yet?
The township?
Yeah.
No, it goes
Oh,
to
the
the school
board,
and
yeah, I
the,
was looking at, yeah, I was thinking.
the school and the county.
County.
Yeah, we had it at our last meeting, and
Okay.
I mean, it was positively received. Yeah.
Would you,
Tim, we're not paying any.
What?
Pay something?
We line item vetoed some of that, but
Okay.
don't worry about it.
Okay.
It's in a fine print.
Yeah.
would you like us to invite Brandon to the next one, out from the hospital?
I think it'd be good to have a hospital there.
Yeah.
That'd be good to hear.
Yep.
Do we like a Tuesday? I like Tuesdays.
I like Tuesdays too, just because most of my Tuesday evenings are already chewed up, so it's easy for me to remember if it's a Tuesday. I have an evening
When
commitment.
is not a board meeting?
So the 14th and the 28th of April are school board meetings, so those would,
When's our board of equalization?
16, okay.
Thursday.
do you have a council meeting on the 21st, the third Tuesday of April?
We meet on Mondays.
Mondays.
Oh, you meet on Mondays.
So it's like 13th and 27th.
21?
21? Going once, going twice?
I looked at the calendar on the charger at home, so.
I got nothing right now.
April 21st, 2020?
At 5 o'clock?
I know.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And this, Brandon will get an invite for that one too?
Yep. think it's really nice that you guys all get together, just so we all find out if we can help each other or what's happening and, you know, share that information, especially the baby is massive.
So it'll be the 21st to 5?
Yep.
Got it.
Excellent, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Take care.
You're welcome to
5
stay
minutes
for the
before
next
our
one
next
if you want.
meeting.
Oh, what is it?
I have another meeting.
Working session, budget.
I'm sorry, I have to